You're listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Tuesday the 30th of December 2025. It is 9 days after the winter solstice. It is 80 days before the spring equinox. Tonight is the 5th night of Kwanzaa. The sun rises today at 7:20 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 11:58 a.m. The sun sets today at 4:37 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 5:08 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 5:43 p.m. The length of daytime today is 34 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing gibbous phase and is 81% full at midday. The moon sets today at 3:03 a.m. and then it rises today at 12:56 p.m. The full moon will arrive on Saturday, the 3rd of January. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the morning, high tide, 6:01 a.m., 1 meter 55. In the afternoon, low tide, 12:22 p.m., minus 6 centimeters. In the evening, high tide, 6:34 p.m., 1 meter 19. In our shared realm of plants and animals. In the early morning of yesterday's thaw, a fine mist rose from the melting snow on the lawns of Socrates Park. It hugged the ground, about 6 feet high. In the distance, across the East River, the buildings along the Upper East Side of Manhattan were ghostly, shrouded in fog. But the scene was anything but gloomy. The diffused light, bouncing off what remained of the snow, was bright. And what colors there were left in the park sparkled with intensity, even more intense than under the bright, unforgiving sunlight. The one magnolia tree that rests within a stand of beeches and crepe myrtles glowed. Magnolias are evergreen, but their thick, waxy leaves are tinged with hints of orange and brown at this time of year. And with all the rest of the trees grown bare, it stood, a splash of green among the gray. Commemorations. On this day in 1916, Rasputin was murdered in St. Petersburg, Russia. Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin was a faith healer and mystic who presented himself as a monk, although he had no official connection to the Russian Orthodox Church. He came into the circle of Russia's imperial family and began to wield considerable influence over the Tsarina and the Tsar, much to the alarm of more sober minds. A group of nobles led by Prince Felix Yusupov lured him into Yusupov's residence, where they shot him dead. They threw his body into the Little Nevka River, where it was found 3 days later. A gruesome end to a man many regarded as a religious charlatan. In other Russian history, on this day in 1922, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics was proclaimed in Moscow at the Bolshoi Theater. The USSR lasted until it was dissolved in 1991. It fundamentally shaped the course of 20th century history. Today we remember Helge Ingstad, born on this day in 1899. Together with his archaeologist wife, Anna Stein, he uncovered the remains of the only documented Norse settlement in North America. The settlement consisted of 8 houses of wood covered with sod roofs, and dated to about the year 1000. It is located at the northernmost tip of Newfoundland, at a site known as Lonceau Meadows. It may have been established by the Norse traveler Leif Erikson. Remember Helge Ingstad and Anna Stein today. We also remember Bo Diddley, born this day in 1928. He earned the moniker The Originator because his music was instrumental in transitioning the blues to rock and roll. He was known for his custom-built rectangular-bodied Gretsch guitar, which he dubbed the Twang Machine, and he developed his signature Bo Diddley beat, a driving, rumba-like beat. Not only did he help lay the foundations of rock and roll, but his sound influenced countless musicians who followed. Poignantly, he once said, "I opened the door for a lot of people who just ran through and left me holding the knob." Remember Bo Diddley, the originator, today. And finally, this 5th night of Kwanzaa honors the principle of Nia, or purpose. And that is the Observatory, Tuesday the 30th of December, 2025.